Rockalina, the eastern box turtle, was captured in 1977 and forced to live on a kitchen floor for nearly 50 years. She was fed cat food and lettuce. Her story has reached more than 61 million views across our social media platforms alone, and she's received global news coverage. Today, we're giving you her full story, from the moment we laid eyes on her to right now. This is the story of Rockalina, the turtle who survived the unthinkable. Okay.
Whatever you want to do.
Oh, wow.
I found a note in my aunt's house. They've had her since May of 77.
1977.
So.
Wow.
They took her to a vet and found out she's a girl.
Yeah.
And that's the sum total of what I know about her.
Okay. Holy cow. She's a tiny little thing.
My husband's cousin I thought was coming over today to see you guys. He wanted to meet you, but he couldn't make it.
Oh my gosh.
He's the one who actually found her when he was a kid.
Uh-huh.
And they've kept her all these years.
Have her eyes been open lately? Or
I don't know.
okay.
Usually when I see her, she was wandering around the kitchen floor. That she had the run of the house.
Okay, she had the run of the house.
And
do you know what she was fed?
not a clue.
Not a clue.
We've tried giving her cat food and lettuce and whatever, and we never see her eat.
Okay.
But she's still here, so she's got to be eating something.
Wow. Holy cow.
Yeah.
Was she the same size back then?
I have no idea.
She looks like she... Wow.
Like I said, I wasn't in the family at that point, so
Yeah.
I don't know.
Okay.
I've been around since the 90s, and I think she's about the same size as when I first saw her 30 years ago.
Yeah, Sheila, the reason I'm asking is because she has a wild type shell. You could tell, like, when they've been hatched or born into captivity and raised in captivity, you could tell this animal definitely looks like it had a wild, start moons ago. Yeah. And that's why the shell looks the way it does and the rest of her looks the way it does. But, holy
How
cow.
long do they normally live?
Well over 100.
Is she in good shape?
I'm going to be honest with you, no.
Okay.
Yeah, she, see how her nails
I know.
curl
we
up,
didn't know what was wrong with her feet.
Yeah, I'm not sure what happened with her back feet here. We'll get her soaked and stuff like that. And that's why I was asking when the last time she opened her eyes.
That could be vitamin A.
Yeah, it could be a vitamin A deficiency. That's true. And her beak, see how it's kind of like looks like a duckbill. They're supposed to have a real sharp, pointed beak so that they can, because they eat a lot of live prey in the wild, so they use that to grab and pierce the prey,
Yeah, my aunt passed last month, and we haven't really known how to take care of her.
Right.
But she seemed okay, but that was why I was looking for somebody like you.
Sure, absolutely. I'm glad you called us or emailed us about her.
We didn't want to just turn her loose outside. That didn't seem fair after all these years.
Yeah, I mean, she would never make it.
No.
Yeah.
That was why I wanted somebody to rescue her.
Yeah. Wow.
But yeah, the two cousins were out playing, and Tommy found her. And they've kept her all these years.
Yeah.
She was usually in the middle of the kitchen floor, so there wasn't, when I saw her, wasn't anything really close to her.
Gotcha. Okay.
I put her in the box yesterday to bring her home, so that you didn't have to go to my aunt's house. And she just kind of sat there. Now this morning, she's circling the box and
Okay.
checking things out and sticking her foot through the hole and putting
that's
her
good.
head up over the edge. But yesterday, she just was kind of there. I tried giving her water. I didn't know what to feed her. I even gave her some cat food because I think that's
just
what
to see if
she's been eating.
Cat food, yeah. All right, well, we're going to take her back and work on her, and we'll give her baths and try to get her nails trimmed and her beak into check and whatever we could do for her,
Okay.
But what a story. Wow, 1977. Yep. So,
Well,
all right.
We didn't want to just give her to somebody and put her in a terrarium after having the whole house to herself. And
Well, thank you
didn't
for...
want to turn her loose. And
No, you definitely did the right thing there, and thank you for intervening, because they all deserve a shot, So
we're trying to deal with a lot.
All right, so here's a recap for you guys. So for 48 years, since 1977, this turtle has been living on the floor at someone's house. This was a mentally disabled person whose parents have unfortunately since passed away, which is where this person came into play that brought us the turtle. She had to help out with the family, saw the turtle, called us right away. But unfortunately, this much time has gone by where this animal has been kept in suboptimal conditions. Living on the floor in a household is no life for any reptile, especially a turtle, because now her nails have grown backwards, her beak is completely overgrown, her color is washed out, and it looks as though one of her legs is actually necrotic, meaning it is dead. So we're going to see what our vet wants to do and what the potential future of this turtle looks like, and we'll go over all that once we get back there. 1977, this family, or this kid at the time, takes her out of the wild. Okay, I want to keep this pet turtle. Kept it on the floor of the house. Fed lettuce, fruit, and cat food for almost 50 years. Obviously not getting any traction on the floor, but we think the one leg is necrotic. We think it's dead.
Yep. Oh, yeah. God. So start front. I mean, we got beak overgrowth here. I mean, improper diet.
Mm-hmm.
I've never seen. I've seen them get overgrown nails, but I mean, these are just. What the heck is going on back here, guys? I mean, this side has like sores from, I think, even the is it rubbing against the top of the shell here, and it's just abnormal skin, because
That's
even
what
here
Casey
doesn't
said.
look normal. Oh, God, it's hard to it's so hard to tell. I mean, God, it's got so much crusting on it though. It just, even her skin doesn't seem normal either, right? I mean, like, look at like that.
I mean, the nails literally, instead of, going like this, they're just like
curled right up there. I mean, it's kind of unreal. I've never seen anything like this before.
No, this is a first for us, and obviously, all the stuff that we brought you. We've had some, but
this is, I mean, I think it comes to, like, in terms of like assessing it, we take an X-ray to see what does the bone quality look like there, and to see if we can see there. I mean, she still moves the leg, so I don't think the entire leg is necrotic. If it is, I almost think this is all just thickened crusting on top of it. The question is,
oh, look at that, yeah.
Basically, like, it's all like just crusted material, and so like what's underneath is, what's there is the question.
Why would it crust like that? Is it just like the skin sloughing off?
Yeah, it could be like I said, I'm concerned like a vitamin A deficiency given its diet as well. And so vitamin A is really important for like your skin development there and like your shedding. And so this is just clumps of abnormal shed on top of like. Mm-hmm. God, it just doesn't look.
She drank profusely. When I put her in the water, it's almost like she didn't realize what she was in yet.
Yep.
And then all of a sudden she was like, oh, and just stuck her head in there and just, she must have drank for 15 minutes straight.
And like looking at her, she looks, even though she drank that much, she looks a little dehydrated to me.
Sure.
Like when I saw the picture, like in that, 50 years of cat food and stuff like that, such a high, they do eat meat and stuff like that, but is there too much in the kidneys? Was there not a right diet and like, maybe an excessive amount of protein ended up, is kidneys affected too? I mean, that does explain the nails, but I mean, yeah, it's just like, look, it's just like thickened, like.
Yeah.
It's just hard to know what is viable and what isn't. But I think if we want to see things, we could take an X-ray to see what it looks like there.
Okay.
I worry about her quality of life, truly. I mean, in terms of like, is she comfortable getting around there? Is her with her beak, is she able to apprehend food well enough? Like, is this in that leg? I mean, I know they can do well on 3 legs. The question is, is her good, given her age and her other things, like, we do blood work to make sure is her kidneys okay, but, there comes a quality of life with her feet. I mean, she's not walking properly there, and, but...
She's perky, looking around. In terms of the nails, I mean...
You just trim, like...
I have the Dremel to trim them down.
You could even use, like, a human nail clipper. I mean, sometimes I use, like, human nail clippers, and you could just try to, like, trim them up a little bit there. Like, we could trim some of these ones easily. You're just trimming them back, but they're just going to keep curling because she doesn't have that same traction the way she's walking, she can't normally get that wear and tear in that normal, like just the way her joints are held. She doesn't seem normal in that degree.
Because of this lack of traction that she's had, essentially her fingers, her claws, her feet are just upturned. They're going the wrong way. And I mean, we can trim them and we can see what kind of traction she's able to get from being kept on the right substrate now and in the right environment, which would be a lot of humidity. Again, box turtles are a woodland species. They live on forest floors. They do move into other parts of habitats. But as I've said 1,000 times, and at risk of sounding like a major broken record, box turtles have a deep relationship with water. They need it in their lives at all times. They can submerge, they can swim, they can eat in it, and a dry life on a carpet or a floor, no life for these guys. So not only is she dehydrated, but her skin, her nails, and everything are suffering from not only metabolic bone disease, but of course being dried out. Her skin has sloughed off and also is getting stuck at the same time because there's no humidity to help her grow and shed the way a normal turtle would.
What is her quality? I mean, I know it's always tough when they're perky and they're looking around, but they're reptiles. They're one of the toughest creatures out there. But when you see them in this condition, what's her long-term, she, even though they're walking, like, oh, it's still walking, but they're still uncomfortable, right? You know, is there likely arthritis in those joints? Probably from, it truly, what's those kidney function? You're hearing that she's drank so much water and she still looks dehydrated, like, did all that chronic dehydration affect her, kind of just like I think about dogs and cats too. They burn down their at some point your kidneys stop working well. Right. Is that kind of the case for her? And she's in pretty rough condition here, truly. I mean, I think, we can happily do an x-ray, try to get some blood from her. It might be tough with the way her skin and her neck is just even like, just, you can see all this abnormal shed. That's why I think she's got vitamin A deficiency, but we still, even that back left leg, I do worry though that there is like some potential necrosis. The more I'm kind of getting through this crusting, the more that leg, instead of being nice and normal, kind of not normal, but like fat, like it kind of follows a taper, it goes right down there. And that's your worry, that you have like, maybe she had something like a human hair caught around it and it's basically constricted and it's necrosed that thing, and the only reason it's staying on. Yeah,
I'd said that maybe a hair or a thread from the carpet had gotten wrapped around there, and then the circulation got cut off. Yeah. I mean, I would like to see an X-ray and blood work if we can get it, just because if those things are showing us that there's hope there. Yep. I would hate to just say goodbye to her when, like you said, they are the most resilient animals on the planet. No dog or cat or really any other animal would be able to survive this kind of situation. This is a testament to how resilient turtles are. Does not mean that she's going to make it, and we do need to figure that out. But, you're looking at one of the only animals on the planet, maybe the only animal on the planet that could go, 4 or 5 decades
with improper care and still be like, I'm ready to eat there. But so I think what we can do is, I can at least pop like an X-ray just see what that looks like there. Then we'll try to get some blood from the neck there, and then maybe give her a vitamin A injection. We'll start some antibiotics because I worry with the way that foot looks. But we may be talking about if it is still there, trying to soak it at home and see if we get some of this significant crusting off this. Some mineral oil to kind of tease it off a little bit. Trim these nails up and just see. But the blood work might tell us if we do have underlying disease processes, then that might lean us towards a different direction here.
Okay. Got it.
Cool.
Yep, for sure.
Okay, so you can kind of see like the outside of the bone. Even this one's egg laying. But do you see like there's like a bright white line on the outside of the bones?
Yeah.
It's hard to put and then the inside's gray.
Yeah.
When we go to her X-ray on here, it's just all gray. Like it's a very ill-defined cortical bone, right? Like maybe here you subjectively maybe in this bone a little bit more in the femurs, but like the tibias, but like look at these bones down here, like look at how
they're like non-existent.
Like when we zoom in here, right? It's like, and then pan with this, like they're so disfigured underneath here. And then the same thing, and then this is the affected foot. It's hard to know, like there is bone structure here, but is it affected? It might just be.
Is that a fracture right there?
It's just not normal bone. Like these bones, albeit look somewhat normal, but kind of maybe a little bendy, but also just not good cortical thickening. Like it's a calcium deficiency chronically. It just doesn't have, it's metabolic bone disease for sure there. I bet you her front legs are what's been getting her around more than her back legs. I think that's.
So essentially she's dragging herself?
Yeah. because you don't have good mechanics on that. I mean, you know, sometimes.
And of course, this animal would never be able to dig a nest.
No, definitely no. That's not.
Turtles nest using their back feet. Box turtles, no exception to that. The female finds an area, she kind of pivots, moves around. Once she decides where she wants to be, she needs those back feet to dig and sculpt the inside of that nest. Then she starts dropping the eggs in, and she guides each egg with her back feet and then covers the nest. This animal, even if her legs were left the way they are now, there's not a chance she'd be able to dig a nest.
I mean, let's see, get some blood. We'll do the other side there. I mean, all right. Let's just try to run the chemistry part.
All right. So good news is we did get some blood. So we're going to run that, and we're going to see what it tells us. Again, we're trying to check off boxes here, see what everything kind of adds up, what's going on with her to our best knowledge, because quality of life is, of course, what's most important. This animal's been like this a long time. So we're doing our best to try to make the absolute best decision for her. In situations like this, unfortunately, it lands on us, but this is what we do. We try to get them into the best situation as possible, as quickly as possible with us. Luckily, we have a great team and a network, but we don't know what's going to happen here. So we have to wait for those results, and we'll go from there. We didn't even think Rockalina would survive the drive home, let alone being able to go to the vet. We didn't even think we'd be able to get blood from her, but we did. And the results were going to be the first pivotal moment in her recovery, if there was to be a recovery at all.
I just sent you the results. I just texted you. I don't know if you got them yet.
Yeah, I saw that. I just wasn't sure what I was looking at.
It's boring.
It's boring. In a good way?
Uric acid, yeah. The UA level, that's called uric acid.
Yeah.
That's your marker for kidney dysfunction.
Yeah. Normal.
The calcium's greater than 20, so she at least has calcium in her blood. I'm guessing just her bones are probably, maybe recently they started feeding her some more calcium-rich stuff, maybe.
Okay.
Her bile acids is less than 35, but we don't really care about that. It's only if it's over, we get worried about liver function.
Okay.
It's boring. I mean, her protein's good. I mean,
Wow.
Yeah, it's good. It's good news.
That is good news.
But then it makes our decision harder. But I think if we're gonna give this friend a chance, I would be soaking this friend daily for the next few weeks there to try to maybe get like a toothbrush and try to kind of remove some of the excess skin, especially on that left leg. My guess, that thing it wants to fall off on itself, Chris.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, I would say that leg is goodbye for sure. Okay, all right. So yeah, let's do the ceftazidime, and then I'll start right now. I'll start with the warm soaks. I mean, I've already done a few, and very cool. All right, awesome.
Wild.
Yeah.
All right, man. I'll talk to you later.
All right, thanks. Bye.
All right, bye.
All right, guys, we finally have an update for you on Rockalina, the very unfortunate eastern box turtle that was captured in 1977 and kept on a kitchen floor for almost 50 years and fed lettuce, fruit, and cat food. We got her blood work back, as you just got to see in that phone call with our veterinarian, Dr. Lambert, and we can't believe it, but her blood work is good. This is a testament to just how resilient these animals are and how few animals, if any, could survive this kind of neglect for so many decades. But still, a lot of work is to be done. There's still a very rough situation for Rockalina, and she absolutely is not out of the woods. But we have started her on an antibiotic and vitamin A because she definitely needs that stuff. We have to make sure that no infection starts taking over her because she's not going to have the strength to fight that, if you know what I mean. But we have to start trimming her nails down because remember, from living on that floor, she has buckled her joints and her nails are turning upwards. They're going to start growing back into her feet. So let me grab her so you guys can see just how she's been doing so far. All right, here she is, little Rockalina, almost here a week now, but getting blood work back like that shows us that the animal's blood is in fact okay is huge for her. Does not mean she's out of the woods though. What we've been doing so far is giving her a lot of soaks because box turtles need a lot of moisture, hydration, and humidity in their lives, something that she has not been getting for almost 5 decades now. So she's been drinking. She's also perked up tremendously. And if you remember in that first video, she barely could open her eyes. Now her eyes are getting pretty wide open, which is what we want to see. She's being responsive. As far as her legs go, her skin is very sensitive right now. So that's why I'm trying to hold her, because if she starts slipping around all over the place, she can actually start bleeding. This is all stuff that we're going to have to work on. We really have our work cut out for us, guys. This is no joke. As of right now, this turtle absolutely deserves a shot. And something to take into consideration with that is the natural lifespan of turtles and tortoises. Box turtles in particular, similar to tortoises, have extremely long lifespans. They can live for more than 100 years. So even though this animal may be around 70, because she was probably captured when she was around 20, that doesn't mean this animal is done with its life cycle. All right, Rockalina, some more steps towards your recovery. I've done this with a lot of animals, but not one this severe. So let me see here. Try to keep her as comfortable as possible. I'm going to be careful and just start trimming them a little bit because we don't want her to bleed. And the whole purpose of this is to start helping her get better traction, and maybe at some point, once she's on the appropriate substrate with the right traction, we can redirect the growth of these nails to go downward and become sharp points like they would in the wild, or one that's been raised properly. You are so sweet. She's doing so great. So far so good with this first nail. All right. Still looking good. Take a little more off that one. I think we're good there, and then eventually I'm going to get out the Dremel and we will fine-tune that a little bit. Okay. You okay there? I tell you, for a turtle that's been through so much, she's strong. How does that feel, girl? Okay. This one's really a challenge. You see that? See how badly that's curled up? Might be hard for you guys to see, but the further that nail goes, it's going to actually grow back into her foot. Easy, girl. All right, how are we looking here? Trying to get a close look. Take a little bit off that last one there. It's still so curled. There we go. All right, that foot's ready for the Dremel. Let's move on to the other one. It's definitely going well. Really interesting, something to see here. If you guys can look, you see this nail, which is also bent the wrong way. However, it comes to a very nice tapered sharp point, and that's what the turtle is supposed to have. Box turtles are omnivores and they eat a lot of animal matter, so they use those claws to not just dig into the ground, but to tear their prey apart. So that's what we want to see, but I do still have to trim this nail for now. But good to see it growing in that kind of fashion. All right. Gosh, these are so long. Now, the other thing we did with Rockalina was we made sure that she had a nice long soak before we started doing this, because with things being moist, it makes things a lot less harsh for her to go through, because when the nails are dry, they can be really brittle, possibly cause some pain, and we're trying to do everything we can to keep this turtle out of any pain, because of course, a turtle can't exactly tell you, hey, that hurts. All right, taken quite a bit off both feet, which is exactly what we needed to do. Now, normally you wouldn't make the nails this short, but because we're trying to redirect their growth, that's what we want to do here. A little bit more off right here. And I think we're okay for right now. That is awesome. How you doing, lady? Yeah. I don't want her to walk that much on such a smooth surface because that's how she turned out this way to begin with, that constant slipping and sliding on either a tile or linoleum floor. But that is fantastic. Now, I'm going to leave her back foot here alone for now, just to give her a little bit of a break. Again, we're trying to minimize the stress on this turtle, even though she's doing so great. So we're not going to venture the beak yet. We're not going to venture the back feet. In the original video, we thought there might be a lot of necrosis going on with at least this back left leg. A lot of that crust has come off now. There's definitely something really gnarly still going on with the back leg, but she is able to use it and pivot on it a bit. So, you know, more visits to the veterinarian will tell us what's going on there. But you're such a sweet turtle. That is really awesome. That went really, really well. Another major step towards the hopeful full rehabilitation of this amazing little turtle. So let's get her comfortable now, let her relax, and then maybe we'll see if she'll take something to eat. After we trimmed Rockalina's nails, it was apparent that she did have some strength left in her and she even wanted to move, but this did present new challenges. One good thing, she definitely had an appetite. Atta girl. Rockalina, the little eastern box turtle that spent nearly 50 years living on somebody's kitchen floor after being captured from the wild in 1977, continues to make some progress here at Garden State Tortoise, but with her progress come new challenges, and that's because other issues are being revealed. What's happening with Rockalina is her skin is raw because it's been sloughing off. Now, because of that, she's starting to bleed and the skin is cracking. So we've got to get her to the vet. We've got an appointment later today. You guys are coming with us. But right now what we're doing is we're giving her a little bit of a meal, a nice soft meal, because we're not yet ready to trim her beak. Because her beak is so deformed from growing improperly for so long, we can't just dive into that and trim it. She may always have an open gap there because the jaws don't align perfectly, but we're going to venture that later at the veterinarian when we bring her in for some treatment for her skin on her back legs. So right now, we're just getting some soft fruit, this banana right here, into her. She's really enjoying it, and you can see just how strong she's getting. She's not only walking, but she is lifting her body, and she is able to eat very soft foods. So this addresses some other things. Rockalina probably never going to be able to live life like a normal box turtle would. And what I mean by that is, box turtles, especially the eastern box turtle, are actually a woodland species. They do move into other habitats, but the vast majority of their lives they spend on the forest floor with thick canopy above them. That's what we've done here for the vast majority of eastern box turtles that call our sanctuary home. And let me show you what it's like. Now, by offering the turtles all the different elements in this enclosure I'm about to show you, you're allowing them to live a natural lifestyle 365 days a year. That means the turtles are in this very pen spring, summer, fall, and winter. And there's a variety of different parts of this habitat that they can use, which create kind of micro habitats. Starting with right here, a little aquascape ecosystem that is essentially a moving stream that the turtles can utilize to drink and even swim in. This might not look like much to you guys, it's just a fallen log or fallen tree, right? But this is something that the turtles will utilize. They'll hide under, they'll even climb all over it. Oh, and by the way, the box turtles that live in this pen, they're in here right now, asleep under all of this leaf litter. All right, so now that we've gone over quite a bit about box turtle care and care in general for these animals, the main thing that we're gonna be doing with Rockalina is, of course, getting some ointment for her back legs to help heal that skin, but also we're going to take a close look at her beak to see if we can do anything about it. So I'm bringing my trusty little Dremel to see if we can start shaping it. But guys, I gotta tell you right off the bat here, I don't know how this is going to go. Rockalina, again, is a very severe case of a turtle that is suffering some pretty bad deformities. So her beak isn't just simply overgrown, it's completely deformed. And what we have to watch out for is if we shape it the wrong way and it continues to grow, we might end up with bigger problems. Doesn't matter the type of turtle, This is how the skull and jaws are supposed to work. There's supposed to be an overbite. That hook is supposed to come down and the bottom jaw is supposed to fit in there. This is how these animals function. This is how they bite pieces off of their food. They also use their mouths for other reasons, obviously. But if we shape this thing wrong, this already deformed beak can end up like this or like this. There's all kinds of things that could go wrong. So we're going to try to shape it as best as we can, but again, baby steps, a little bit at a time. We may do some today, we may not do anything at all, but if we do, it's probably just gonna be a little bit. We'll do a little bit at a time. Enough of that. Let's get on over there and see what we're up against. Hello. Hello.
All right, how's Rockalina?
She's doing great. So far, so good, but this is what I wanted you to take a look at.
Yep.
Was all this.
Yeah.
How raw her skin is. I'm worried about that getting infected because she was so dried out when we first got her, and then with all the continuous soaks, her color and everything came back, and she got bright-eyed, but the skin sloughed off, and now she's very tender.
Yep.
So I'm nervous about infection, and even being on the antibiotic.
The foot looks, I mean, it's smaller than the other ones, but it still looks vital, though, to me, the foot. I mean, it's surprising. I wonder if it just had poor vascularization there for a while, but like, the skin just. Is she doing better in the soaks as well?
Yeah, I mean, she's really like, she's very strong. She's lifting her body. She can't put much on that, weight on that back
one
foot.
there. When we said her bones are all kind of wonky in that thing, but
she's eating. She loves her soaks. She's been very perky. I mean, look at how bright-eyed she is. When you first saw her, she couldn't open her eyes at all.
No. And like I said, we treated with some vitamin A there because I wonder if that's why this excessive shedding, or still her vitamin A levels aren't adequate. But now you guys got her on a better diet, so. But yeah, I mean, I think the topical at this point, the leg's not overly swollen compared to the other one there. I think if we kind of continue with it, and the hope is she'll shed this through.
Okay.
I mean, I agree that the foot looks viable to me there.
Okay.
And
we trimmed her front nails.
I see that, yeah.
But so what are you thinking? An ointment or a cream for
that's what I think. Yeah, we could do like an SSD cream. That usually is a good topical antimicrobial there.
Okay.
Keep the soaks going, but I think it's just extra skin. I mean, it looks a little red, but like underneath there's not puffy. I mean, compared to the other foot.
Cool.
I'm actually pretty happy with that.
That's awesome.
Yeah, wow. It's impressive there.
I know, right? So the other reason we're here is because we got to start figuring out how to address her beak.
Yep.
But I was reaching out to Karen from Turtle Rescue in the Hamptons, and she's done a million of these, and she was advising, which Casey had also brought up already too, that we should just do a little bit at a time, because if we do too much and the bottom jaw doesn't fit into the top jaw, we're going to end up with more problems down the road, and that we're probably always going to have some kind of gap there.
Yeah, she's always going to have that malocclusion because her beak, not coming to the normally. It's just the way it's growing. It's never going to make nice contact like you normally would. Yeah. So yeah, you're basically, I mean, she's adapted to eating, like, but agreed, like, I would think we got to trim the margins first, like, get that margin down a little bit on each side, and then try to bring that upper beak down a little bit there, but I think it's more that lower beak that sticks out further. But yeah, that's one thing I think, like, slow, a little bit of time there. I mean, she's eating so well with it. I mean, she adapted to it. I mean, they're truly, it's not a normal beak, and she'll never be a normal beak there. Right. But I think if we can bring
I'm thinking like starting with the lower jaw right here.
Yeah.
So that at least the lower jaw fits a little bit more, and again with that contact with the upper jaw.
Yep.
But like right here, where that's protruding, that bottom jaw, I'm thinking that's where we need to start, is to get that clipped or dremeled down.
Yeah, I would use Dremel, like if they make like the small conical burrs, so we can try to do that later on there, and bring it down, and then like I said, bring it on this side and try to bring that side up a little bit to make, because it looks like on the right side the bottom's growing over, and on the left side the top's coming over that.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. So that's that. Rockalina is good. We're going to put some SSD cream on her, and we're going to start taking our time chipping away at that beak. I'm not going to do anything to her today because she's already gone through enough having to go for yet another car ride. Rockalina is kicking butt here, and thank you guys so much for rooting for her. At this point in time, millions of people were following Rockalina's story across all of our social media platforms, and the outpouring of support was amazing. And it was also time to take the next major step in her recovery. Here she is, little Rockalina, who is making leaps and bounds each and every day here at Garden State Tortoise, to the point where I don't really know how much assistance, if any, that she's going to need moving forward walking. She is really lifting her body. She's showing that she's not really suffering from any atrophy, which is a big deal with turtles and tortoises. They need to be able to lift their bodies up. Of course, that back leg is still a concern. I don't know exactly what's going to go on there, but it is not completely dead or anything. It does not need to come off. And I'm just so impressed with her. She's doing so awesome. She's got a great appetite, such a sweet little personality for a turtle that has gone through so much for nearly 5 decades. I mean, look at her go. She's just unbelievable. A true testament, once again, to just how resilient these animals can be. However, not completely out of the woods. I can't say that enough. But I really love showing you guys the amazing progress that this incredible little turtle has been making. So what have I done since the last video? Because in the last video, if you've been following, we took her to our veterinarian because her back legs, particularly the skin, was getting raw, cracking, and starting to bleed because she's going through a major healing process after neglect for so long. So we got her some SSD cream. She's healing up beautifully. There's no more blood. We just have some scabbing and more dead skin is sloughing off, which is good, but the SSD cream is keeping back any bacteria or infection, and it's also clearly keeping her out of any pain because she's just rocking and rolling here. But I did do something. Told you guys I was going to do this, but we were making baby steps because everything has to happen slowly with this animal. I trimmed a little bit of her beak. I took a nail clipper, chipped away some pieces, and then I wetted down the Dremel so that I could smoothly and efficiently start trimming things back. So right now it kind of looks like she has a goofy but adorable little smile there, and that's because it has to happen very slowly and meticulously because we're trying to reshape the beak. In this case, this is not just a simple trim down a point that's overgrown. She's completely deformed here. So the beak is coming out almost like a duckbill instead of hooking downward like a box turtle's beak should be. So I've started shaping it. She's having no problem eating. And I'm really, really excited about this. I think this is awesome. She looks more adorable than ever. And her transformation overall has just been monumental. For animals that have a story to tell. You know, they can't go out there on their own and tell the world what happened. So that's what we're here for, to tell you guys, to share with you guys her story. So to answer a couple quick questions before we move on here, I'm not going to be getting Rockalina a skateboard. As cute as that is, those turtles that are on that's just not something for this animal. This animal doesn't want to be on a skateboard. We don't want to create muscle atrophy by doing something like that. We want her to work so that she can build that muscle and behave as normally as she possibly can. Because let's face it, as I've said in other videos, she's never going to be able to live a natural style life like our other box turtles outdoors do. She's looking at a life more comparable to Stevie or Otis that live indoors here in more controlled environments because of their special needs. The other question that I wanted to answer real quick was people kept reaching out saying, wait a minute, isn't that a tortoise? Why do you keep calling it a turtle? She is not a tortoise. She's a box turtle. Just Google box turtle. The genus is Terrapene. She is Terrapene carolina, the eastern box turtle, a species of turtle found in North America that is more associated with pond turtles, believe it or not. And in fact, they are in what's called the Emydid family, meaning they are in the pond turtle family. This is because eastern box turtles, despite having a mostly terrestrial appearance, have slightly webbed feet, which means they can not only swim in water, but they can even submerge for prolonged periods. They're omnivores, meaning they eat both plant and animal matter. And once again, they absolutely are in no way a tortoise. They do not have elephantine feet. So both genetically and morphologically speaking, you are looking at a true turtle, one that is in the pond turtle family. So that's that. Let's give Rockalina a nice bath because she absolutely loves them. And then we'll move on to some other things. There she goes. She's drinking profusely. This is how box turtles and tortoises will actually drink. They'll stick the head and neck right under the water and just keep taking it in. And that's normal. That's what they do, especially in a case like Rockalina, where she has been dehydrated for so long because she lived on a kitchen floor. Her only access to water was the cat water dish. She didn't actually have a pond or a vernal pool, which is what these animals actually require by nature. She is just... what a happy, happy story so far. I know it started off rough, but this is great. So let's let her have her bath, but we have some more baths to give. A major success to come out of Rockalina's story at this point was that it was opening the door for other turtles in need. Now, at Garden State Tortoise, Casey and I have always done turtle and tortoise rescue, but there were some really interesting cases that were starting to come our way. Stevie, a blind eastern box turtle who we took with several other box turtles from the Popcorn Park Animal Refuge, came to live with us, and also Donatello, a Chinese box turtle that was simply dropped off on the doorstep of a veterinary clinic up in New York. And unfortunately, this clinic was about to close its doors forever, and they needed a home for this interesting little turtle. Both of these turtles required a hospital-type setup, and I know a lot of people at this point were wondering just how we were housing Rockalina to get her through such a sensitive time. Rockalina has to be on just moist paper towels, but we swap these paper towels out every single day. Sometimes we keep her dry, and then other times we let the humidity really build because we were dealing with open wounds on her legs. The SSD cream has really cleaned that up for us, but we're not out of the woods. I've said that a million times already. So we also don't keep water dishes or water bowls inside these enclosures because we're trying to keep infection at bay, and water gets dirtied very quickly, especially by turtles because they love to poop in them. Instead, we give them baths every day. Water is extremely important for these animals regardless of the phase or stage they're in of healing, and then they go back into these enclosures. But Donnie is on natural forest floor, exactly what these box turtles occur on in the wild, and that is what we eventually want to see Rockalina on. Right now, on those paper towels to keep any possible infection at bay, but as soon as she's completely healed up, this is the kind of substrate that she's going to go on. These turtles are not going to stay in here for life. Rockalina is going to get a more elaborate setup eventually, and honestly, I think Donnie might be able to end up living with the other Chinese box turtles here. After Rockalina spent some much needed time in the hospital unit that we made for her, she just kept making leaps and bounds and proving to us that she not only wanted to survive, but that she was ready for something else. And this was a special moment for us because it was time to move her into a little slice of nature while still being kept indoors. We put her in a naturalistic style enclosure, and she got to feel what a forest floor would feel like for the first time since 1977. All right, so on to Rockalina's enclosure and how we did it. The first thing that had to go in was the substrate, and I did a combination of a soil, sand, and carbon mix with also some peat moss and then some cypress mulch, because the whole objective here is that we wanted to have softness to it but also abrasiveness to it, because we want to correct her nails if we can, and we just overall want her to take on more of a natural appearance and be able to behave more like a natural box turtle, because no matter how much time this turtle has spent around humans, she has instinct. She is a box turtle with box turtle needs. So once I got that substrate in there, of course, I recessed a water dish. Box turtles absolutely need water, and if she was more like some of the other box turtles here, she would actually have her own pond because they really do need to be in it. This way, she can get out of it easily, but she can also work to get out of it. We want her to continue building muscle and never suffer from any kind of atrophy, and that is one of the things that can enable some exercise for her. After that, one of our favorite things to do is, of course, add furniture, decor in the form of logs or driftwood. And one of the things I wanted to do was add a fake log hide that she could go into. She can access it through the back and get out the same way, but she could stick her head through two different holes that are in it. And this happens to be Otis, the eastern box turtle's absolute favorite place to hide in his enclosure. So I just had to get Rockalina one because it looks natural and it works perfect for giving them some security. Then I added some driftwood, logs, and also cork bark to try to bring that forest to life a little bit and to give her visual barriers. She doesn't need to have just a wide open space. She needs to be able to move around things, hide behind them, or bask against them. Those are the things that box turtles do in the wild, and they utilize all those fallen logs and branches on a forest floor. Next up was the plants, and this is what really starts to add life to an indoor enclosure. You just get fun, creative, and strategic with it, and try to put yourself in the animal's point of view. Picture yourself on the forest floor and what things would look like in front of you, behind you, and above you, and that's what we do. This is what Casey and I do best, is designing these enclosures both indoors and out to try to make it interesting for the animals, because I can't say it enough time, enrichment is so important for quality of life, even when it comes to turtles. The one truly natural element that we absolutely wanted to add to this enclosure was natural pine litter and leaf litter from outdoors right here in the coastal areas of the New Jersey Pine Barrens, because this is actually where box turtles are found, where they naturally occur, and this is the kind of stuff that really sets the stage for making something natural for them. She can hide under this, she can burrow, she can search for invertebrates, because we're of course going to release some little bugs and worms in there for her to eat, and it just all around looks just like it would on the forest floor anywhere throughout the eastern box turtles range. So super excited for how this came out. Love doing this, never gets old, and this enclosure is 7 feet long. Now, while that might sound like a lot to you guys, when it comes to box turtles, they really should have more room than that. But because Rockalina is special needs and because we have to continue keeping such a close eye on her, we don't want to go too big. The ultimate goal is to hopefully be able to get her outside into a protected pen where she can live by herself in the natural elements, because you cannot replicate natural elements indoors. You can get close and you can definitely keep an animal healthy and happy, but if we can get her out there, we're absolutely going to do it. But for now, it's going to be so exciting to see her in something like this. She's got the full spectrum lighting. We're going to give her a day and a night cycle and the right temperatures. And now the only thing left to do is for us to put Rockalina in there. So let's do that. All right, guys, here she is, our little lady. After 50 years of living on someone's kitchen floor and eating cat food, she is for the first time going to experience what a forest floor actually feels like. I have high hopes for you, Rockalina. I really, really do. Her recovery story in just 1 month has been nothing short of epic. This animal looked nothing like this. She couldn't even open her eyes when we first brought her home. She's just made leaps and bounds. It's truly an emotional, remarkable story and a huge win for wildlife, because her story has really reached a wide audience, and I hope people continue to share it so that people know what not to do when it comes to box turtles and other wildlife. So what do you say? Are you ready? I think you're ready. You've certainly paid your dues. All right. She's like, what? She doesn't know what to make of this. These are all things that she probably does not remember seeing all those years ago when she was first taken out of the wild. But here she goes. She's starting to move around now. I already like what I'm seeing, the way she's getting around on this natural substrate. The smells, the sights, all things that are associated with box turtles and mid-Atlantic or northeastern forest floor. She's already burrowing. Look at this. She's already burrowing. She's already surprising me. She's already burrowing down into the forest substrate, and I am just so excited to see how she utilizes this whole thing. She's gonna have the warmth, she's gonna have the day and night cycle, she's gonna have the humidity, the proper diet. Rockalina is a survivor, and Casey and I want to thank all of you. It's just an unbelievable amount of support. This is not the last you're gonna see of this turtle. We are going to continue updating you guys, but hey, we are almost into spring, so you're not gonna just be seeing what's going on in here. We're gonna be getting outside too. Okay, so at this point, we've got good blood work, good x-rays, she's eating the right foods now. She's also acting more like a box turtle by burrowing into substrate, using her water dish to soak and drink from, exploring, and being very alert. So that meant it was time for a huge moment for Rockalina and us as her caretakers. It was time to reunite her with the sun and nature for the first time in nearly 50 years. She's all sprawled out. This is kind of an emotional moment here. This turtle has gone almost 50 years without experience in nature in any way at all. Her coloration backs up the fact that she's never been in the sun or experienced nature, because her color and markings highly contrast that of a turtle of her species that has been outside. Eastern box turtles are known as one of the planet's most colorful species, and although it's usually the males that are the most colorful, females are usually by no means dull, and Rockalina's color is very washed out from being kept in an artificial setting, and not even a proper artificial setting, for so many decades. So what we're doing today is, it's finally warm, the sun is out, spring is here. We are letting this amazing turtle continue her incredible rehabilitation story by being outside in nature for the very first time in 5 decades. And she is already so inquisitive. She knows. She doesn't forget these things. These animals have instinct because no matter what, they are wild at heart, and she was taken out of the wild so long ago. She's exploring, walking around, showing us that she is strong. She's even like studying the ground and cocking her head sideways. It's adorable. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna bring her into an enclosure that's not being used for anybody else, that is suitable for box turtles. We're not gonna leave her out here. This is supervised time right now. And we're gonna see if we can get her to exhibit some natural behaviors that you would wanna see a box turtle exhibit. So she's actually making headway, getting away from me right now. We're gonna grab her and we're gonna go over to that pen and we're gonna offer her an earthworm. Welcome to Rockalina's little temporary outdoor playpen, if you will. This is not where she's going to stay permanently. Again, supervision with her because we are still in her rehabilitative stage, but she really has been doing awesome. So I am going to put her down, let her explore, and we're going to offer her an earthworm, which is pretty much the most natural food item the eastern box turtle can be offered. I don't expect her to really be able to grab it just yet because her beak is still misshapen and always will be. But right now what we want to do is we want to promote the natural behavior. So the question is, will she recognize this as food after being fed the wrong things for so long?
Go.
Instantly, she's looking at it. And I think she's going to go for it. Come on, you can do it, girl. Go, 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 go. This is cool. This is really awesome. She's snapping at it. She's snapping at it. This is the cutest thing I've ever seen. She got it. She's actually grabbing onto it. Oops, she let it go. This is awesome. Holy cow, is she actually oh, still dropping it. She is actually trying to eat this earthworm, which is amazing. And she's trying to eat it in a natural setting, which is great. She's not eating it off a plate. This is normal. This is what these turtles are supposed to do. They attack the worms. They usually go for them after a rain, or they'll search through leaf litter and pine litter, and once they pop up, they'll grab them. So getting sand and pine litter and stuff like that, totally normal. But I'm so thrilled that she is actually, after so long, never being offered this for 50 years, she's recognizing it immediately as food. She's actually getting it down. This is incredible.
Give her that.
Hold on, she got part of the worm in. She actually swallowed part of this worm. Here we go. Go ahead, Rockalina. Go for the rest of it. Go ahead. Oh, this is fantastic. Wow. So my point is, because they heavily prefer animal matter, they instantly see something like that move and they recognize it as a food source. Earthworms are extremely beneficial and nutritious for any omnivorous turtle. And here, especially in New Jersey, where Rockalina was taken out of the wild, they are primarily eating these kinds of invertebrates. They also eat mushrooms, they will take advantage of fallen fruit, and they will even make their way into roadways to eat roadkill, which unfortunately is one of the top reasons why eastern box turtles get hit by cars themselves. I'm so shocked she actually got like half of this worm down already, even with her beak being like this. The best part about this is that she's so enthusiastic too. She's not being lethargic about going after this worm. Within seconds, she recognized it as a food source and she attacked it. This is amazing, guys. You are getting to see this turtle's full recovery step by step, and we've been taking baby steps. We trimmed her nails back when it was time. We started shaping her beak when it was time. We got her all the medical attention she needed, and little by little, this turtle has just taken the world by storm. I can't believe this. Look at her. She's actually consuming this earthworm. And while it may look like she's struggling, even if she had a properly hooked beak like a wild box turtle would, she would still have a bit of a struggle trying to get them down because they're in fact slippery and slimy. But again, you want to see these animals work for their food. It's how they stay fit. In the wild, nobody is just dropping cat food on the floor for them and saying, go ahead, have at it. Did she get that whole thing down?
She got the whole thing.
She has completely swallowed that earthworm. This is such a huge step for Rockalina.
She's smiling.
I'm thrilled. This is so cool. And I apologize for my voice getting so high. So without a doubt, At some point here, Rockalina is going to be able to spend the warmer months at the very least outdoors here, but we're going to put her in a smaller, more controlled pen, something like this, wide open. While it's safe for our box turtles that are able to behave in a more natural manner, for someone like Rockalina, we're going to need to control things a little bit more, and I'm sure you guys understand why. This turtle has been through so much, and even though she's making leaps and bounds and proving to us that she still is a box turtle, we want to take the proper precautions. We don't want anything to happen to her, so maybe in the future she would be able to stay in a pretty big pen, potentially with another turtle at some point. I really don't know about that yet, but the fact of the matter remains is that Rockalina is rocking on every single step of the way, and this is just, I'm running out of things to say, guys. I really am. This is so cool. So cool. So while Rockalina gets to explore in here for a little while longer, I want to take you guys over here to the main eastern box turtle pen to show you what I was talking about before when I was talking about coloration. Radiated party. So it's pretty warm today, which means I should be able to find some examples, but this is a big pen. All right, here's two examples that unfortunately are being really shy right now. Again, they get to behave in a natural manner here, so most of the times they're scared of us instead of looking to interact with us. But these two females are showing far more natural coloration than Rockalina does. You can see right off the bat just how rich the coloration on the shell is. And if you look at their legs and a little bit on their heads, you can see they have more of a burnt orange, deeper, more vibrant yellow coloration. And overall, their beaks obviously are in check because they are properly maintained. But comparing this to Rockalina, you guys can see what happens when a turtle like that is kept improperly indoors for so long. All of her color has washed out. So the hope is that over time, experiencing the sunlight and the natural elements like a box turtle should, her color will start to come back. Now, of course, there are varying degrees of coloration on each individual turtle. You can see this animal's coloration on its skin is a little bit more washed out, whereas this animal has richer coloration. So it does come down to an individual thing and genetics. Rockalina probably never looked quite as vibrant as these two do, but you can really see it on her skin and legs. She's not supposed to be almost white like that. Now let me set these two ladies back. It's starting to get later in the day, and I'm sure that they're gonna wanna hide, but here, look at this, guys. Look, you can really see this female, how beautiful that orange coloration is on her. And you know, with the males are more often than not even more vibrant than this. You do get duller males, but on average, males are really gonna have that bold coloration, and they're gonna have those really fiery red eyes too. Let's find out where Rockalina is. Oh, look at this, more natural behavior. See? She's burrowing into pine and leaf litter. Another very natural behavior that you will see the eastern box turtle exhibit, and she's even doing it at the right time of day because it's getting late in the day. This is a diurnal species. They don't spend much time being active at night, except for in June and July when the females are looking to nest. They become crepuscular, meaning they usually do it at like twilight or somewhere around dinner time. Occasionally they will nest early in the morning, but primarily you're always going to see them nesting in the evening hours. It's not nesting season. We're still a ways off from that, and of course Rockalina has not been bred, so she is starting to tuck in for the night. So yet another incredible natural behavior that this turtle is showing us, even though she has been through so much for so long. Good job, girl. Here she is, little Rockalina, who in just 4 short months has made the most iconic recovery you could possibly think of after suffering for nearly 50 years. Her story has reached millions, and the news coverage for it has been incredible, to the point where we now know that her story is truly getting out there because the goal is to help save future turtles from what she had to endure. When we got Rockalina outside under the sun, she was able to be a box turtle. She even ate an earthworm, and I wasn't even sure that she was going to be able to grab it, let alone actually consume it, and she did. So that brings us to the next chapter in her life and her story, and that is getting her outside so that she can live in her own beautiful, spacious, natural enclosure and be reunited with nature as much as possible. Little Rockalina can never go back to the wild, but she certainly can act like a box turtle here at Garden State Tortoise under our guidance and under our care for the rest of her days, however long she has. And I gotta say, she probably has another 50 left in her. So stay tuned, because this is absolutely not the last you're gonna see. There's still more of Rockalina's story to tell, and you guys are gonna watch us get her outside into her brand new home.